Welcome to the Less Software Providing Value to Value-Added Resellers webinar. I'm Jessica Treadwell of Less Software, and I'm going to be walking you through the first portion of our webinar today, followed by Mike Flanagan from Less Software, who will be going through the product demonstration and the recap. The purpose of today's webinar is to address the challenges that are faced by technology value-added resellers in particular. Through years of working with our clients, we have narrowed the list of challenges down to focus on costly and time-consuming challenges. The first thing we had to recognize when working with value-added resellers is the competitive landscape is fierce and the margins are slim. In order to be competitive, you need to respond quickly and attain the appropriate margin. As a reseller, it is always important to chase profitable business and not just the cash. So what are the challenges? Quoting and configuration of products and pricing seems to be a general sore spot for sales. They need to attain prices from multiple vendors, configure the products effectively, and more importantly, do it quickly. This task normally takes place on an Excel spreadsheet and sometimes has to be entered manually into the order fulfillment system when the deal is sold. This process could take hours or even days. Do you have the time to engage in every opportunity? More importantly, while you have quoted quickly, will you hit or exceed the customer's delivery expectations? The next challenge is establishing a margin and achieving it. In order to know what deal will be profitable as a value-added reseller, you need visibility into the gross profit margin at every step of the deal and throughout the fulfillment process. Without access to the gross profit margin, how can a reseller make informed business decisions about what product lines to sell and carry, or how to improve the sales process? It also enables the ability to compensate based on margin and not revenue, benefiting the entire organization. One of the most complex challenges a value-added reseller faces is normally handled by a team of people whose sole responsibility is updating tax tables, filing the appropriate paperwork, and trying to stay as current as possible on tax regulations. Technology resellers have the ability to sell millions of product SKUs from a variety of product lines, whether it be software, hardware, services. Each SKU could potentially have different tax calculations. With municipalities across Northern America struggling for revenue, the complexity of updating tax tables, applying the proper taxes, and maintaining the required tax documentation will only increase. Is taxation being handled effectively in your organization? One of the most prevalent and costly challenges that we see when speaking with clients is maintaining an infrastructure in order to support the business's daily processes. Most organizations use multiple systems to manage their business processes. A quoting solution for the sales organization that allows the flexibility in pricing and configuration, a procurement system to manage the large supplier network and the supplier catalogs associated with them, and a separate order fulfillment system to execute on the orders. With this type of traditional infrastructure, there are many issues. The data is siloed, and many times users need to have access to multiple systems to get the information they require, spending valuable time going from system to system. The information that they are accessing may not be available in real time, which could potentially cause issues in pricing, availability. If the systems are not integrated, then the steps may have to be done manually, allowing for human error. There is also a cost associated with having to maintain the licenses, support, and infrastructure for every system used to quote, process, and fulfill an order. As you know, technology resellers deal in a complex and competitive environment. We believe there is a simpler model out there for you. While working with our clients, they have helped us to create some new best practices to assist value-added resellers. Let me tell you a little bit about Less Software. We're a 100% cloud-based application as a software as a service subscription model. Our customers are not buying servers or databases in order to support our application. The application is delivered in a multi-tenancy model, so our customers are all on the same version. I can tell you 100% of our customers have customizations that they have done and that they're still able to move forward. They can access the system from literally anywhere with an internet connection through a secure profile and permissions network. All transactions are done in real time. There are no batch processes that need to run overnight in order to update the system. You can see the financial status of an order in real time. We use electronic workflows and approvals because, as you know, most sales reps and management tend to be remote or out of the office. This is key as it allows for quotes and orders to be approved in a timely manner. We have simplified the integration with suppliers, financial systems, and enabled trade through electronic data interchange, allowing our customers to move articles of trade the way our customers expect them to be done. This is what we consider to be the go-forward model for enterprise computing and enterprise systems in general. This is the way our customers are using the system today. With that, I would like to introduce Mike Flanagan from Less Software, as he will be taking us through the demonstration and the remainder of today's webinar.
Today, when we log into an application here, this is my home screen. This is where I understand kind of the things that need to be done today. Now, based on, for demonstration purposes, I literally can do anything today, but security profiles are such that you see what you need to see. You can do the transactions that you need to do. That's kind of managed by your systems administrator. But as a quick view, you can see here I have a dashboard right in the middle of my screen that's talking about the bookings that I've made for this quarter, my current custom open orders with customers, and the shipments that I've made over the last few days here. So starting the year out right, I've got some couple of bookings and things are going on. I also have some tasks here to approve purchase orders that have been created that are required for me to be able to do things. I have a set of tasks down here to follow up with sales orders and suppliers and customers, specifically about what's going on with certain deals. So this proactive way of seeing my tasks, my work that I need to do, my snapshot of data that we're going to do can be done. And the business intelligence package is kind of critical for our customers. They need to be able to see things that they want to see. So the idea of dashboards becomes really, really important. You can have certainly lots of different flavors of dashboards, but we'll kind of give you an example here. So when I look at a specific dashboard here, what I'm really looking at is data that's coming up from the system that's presented to me graphically. So in this case, yeah, these are my open customer orders. I can see who I've got orders booked with and how that's going, so I can understand that kind of in a graphical mode. My channel performance, if I'm working, these are my direct sales reps and these are my partners. So if you work in a build to, ship to, sold by model, then you want to be able to understand that performance of that partner that's working with you and helping you. So being able to understand that kind of very, very quickly is helpful. And then a simple outstanding returns, just a way to understand what's going on. So the system's kind of helping me kind of understand that. And if I want to kind of drill in on any one of these things, let's look at an order that we booked here. We have a nice order here that's booked with Centennial Transportation. So like any website, you probably navigated around. When I click on something, then I can drill down and actually get to that data. So now this is the report that substantiates our bookings dashboard. So I can go down here and say, yeah, I've done some work with Coca-Cola, I've done that with company Mary Hospital, and here's Centennial Transportation, and I have a nice order with them for about $96,000, and I want to be able to look at that order and kind of go understand, what products and services that I sold them, be able to kind of understand how this order works. So as part of an integrated suite of applications, what we're really looking at here is our delivery order. The build to, ship to, if I had a sold by, that would work. My sales channel in this case has come from my telesales, my inside sales group. They have delivered this order for me. This order includes goods and services, and that order right now from a status point of view is completely fulfilled. And what we've done here is we've captured our customers' trade information and things like that, but we have shipped to them some Cisco product And that product, because this order was actually delivered through a drop ship fulfillment model, was actually delivered through this purchase order vehicle through Cisco systems. So what we've really done is we've said, okay, I have booked this order, and I want to understand kind of where things are. So when our customers want to understand where they are with a particular order, they certainly can look at the sales order and review any invoice screen to understand how things are going. So in this case, I have a single invoice where I have invoiced for some switching modules, a chassis and a software license pack, and my implementation and customization services sold 88 hours here. All of those products have been and services have been filled. They also have been billed, so if there was a remaining quantity to bill, then I would go through and bill that money. But all that's been done, and when I have a manufacturer partner or distributor that's working on my behalf, then I am now looking at that sales order line and the purchase order line that's being matched. So we do a direct match. So from the sales order, we are creating the subcontract purchase order or purchase orders that we need to fulfill a customer, and we link all of these things together. So anytime there's a change with a supplier order, anytime there's a change with a customer order, we can sync these things across to make it an efficient infrastructure for communicating change. Because if everything is just the same and nothing ever changes, that would be great, but that's not the world that our customers live in. Change is inevitable. Things are going to happen. You're going to be able to have to react to that. So when we look at what we're actually invoicing, we are dealing with a very specific deal with very specific price, and in this case we have shared the taxation specifically on every product and or service that we're delivering at a very specific rate for that specific product. So a invoice can carry multiple taxations depending on the product and or service that is being delivered. And we work with a great partner called Avalara and their AvaTax product, and we have gone off through a set of web services to actually tax this, do a document ID and status change with them and booking for that, and they actually do tax filings on behalf of our customers. I do for every municipality. So if you work in 50 states in the United States and you got at the state, county, city level, that tax level actually goes down to the rooftop level. That's what we call the rooftop level. So when I'm delivering this product in this taxing municipality, we are really getting that granular. So it doesn't have anything to do with zip code. You can be in the same zip code and still have a different tax, as you probably already know. So that complexity, we're trying to make that dead simple. Nobody really has to understand anything. We're depending on a great partner to be able to help us with that. So as we look at these trades, these invoices and how they kind of get constructed, when we go back to our sales order, well, how did we end up with that pricing? So there's lots of different ways we can do that. We've quoted, in this case, we've quoted this particular product through our configuration price and quote tool that's included in the package. In this case, we did some hardware, we did some software licenses, and some professional services. So we call this functionality grouping. We're grouping logical things together, and then we are pricing those things based on different parameters. So in this particular case, we've taken our hardware and we have gone and priced by a profit margin. So I'm taking the supplier's cost that I pay based on an agreement that I have with them, and then I can go through and I am managing the profit margin. So in other words, I'm marking cost up to get to my customer's price that they are going to pay for this, and calculating the gross profit. So that's a very specific number that's coming from a very specific calculation. Now, in the software licenses, we thought, in this particular deal, I could do a little bit better in terms of margin, so I went a simple cost plus, marked it up, and then I'm establishing the price here. And then for my professional services, my list price is $200, and then I did a list minus of 5%. So within the same configuration, I have hardware, software, and professional services that are priced in 3 different ways in the same quote. So this actually extends down to the line item, the way that we want to deliver pricing to our customers. We have customers that offer their customers a bottom line discount, which is an additional discount over anything else. So if I want to show when I present to the customer, well, this is your list price, this is the discount that we're giving you off of that list price. So we're working actually through the supplier's catalog. So in this case, it happens to be Cisco. So when we say the list price of an item, it's the list price that they could get it from Cisco at this point in time. We're showing them an actual, the value that they're getting from working with us. It's the power of, our buying power with Cisco to be able to get these kinds of prices for them. And then in lots of cases, our customers will either want to add another discount here, so like a bottom line discount, or add or manage a total quote price. So that's kind of a funny number. If I wanted to make that a flat $81,000 or a flat $82,000 or a flat $79,000 because the first digit then was not 8, I could do that. But always what the system does for us is recalculate the total gross profit in terms of dollars and percentages. So if you have workflow rules, as our customers do, where they're saying, if a deal is under X margin, then it requires this level of management to be able to do that, then they can submit through an electronic workflow a request for approval on this pricing. So if you have a junior inside sales rep that's just starting, you're going to want to provide them a lot of management guidance around what they can and cannot do, where you have a seasoned field account executive that you give more privilege. And this can be very, very sensitive to the user that's using this and what the workflow rules are. So electronic workflows are important for our customer base and helping us to kind of understand how these deals are constructed. So these deals are priced. You can take files. So if you work with Cisco and you work with their configuration tool and you get that nice CSV file out and you want to upload all of those items into the tool, we'll load it right from Excel right into the tool. It'll run through the pricing algorithms for you automatically. So it's a great way to get data inside the system because everybody still likes Microsoft Excel, so we want to embrace that. There's lots of ways to get data inside the system, and then it scales up. As you might imagine, some of our customers, this is a very, very simple quote, but they may have hundreds of lines on here, like 300-400 lines of detail that are in their configuration. So we know that it scales up, and so these deals can be like multi-million-dollar deals with like just hundreds and hundreds of products and services that are combined to there. But we want to show you a relatively simple model for doing this. So when we're done with with the quotation process, we're simply pressing that button and creating a sales order, and then that sales order from there, what we're doing is we're generating the subcontract purchase orders that are working with this, and it actually all comes from the quoting tool. So for us, that quoting tool is the deal, that margin that we did there. So we are keeping everything in actual cost. So I can change the price for the very same product on every single PO, and we would never standardize that because that would violate the margin. So if we're going to pay based on margins, we essentially have to have the margin extended all the way through the invoice, depending on on how you compensate your reps. Well, at invoice, I'm going to compensate reps, or at cash receipt, I'm going to compensate reps. So we really have to extend that margin that we saw in the quoting tool all the way through there. So to do that, we have to maintain everything in that model, and when we want a subcontract purchase order, this subcontract purchase order then gets done with the pricing coming directly from the quoting tool. So it's a one-button click to generate the contract or multiple subcontracts with the suppliers to do that. So if you have a subcontract for professional services through a contractor, they're another supplier, but it's for another product SKU. So any deal that you create, however many subcontract purchase orders you do, it's a one-click creation of those subcontracts. And in this case, what we can see, our supplier has delivered those items to our customer. So this process of this ship to address, because again it's a drop ship purchase order, that ship to address is actually coming from our customer sales order. So we're procuring this for our customer on this particular sales order. So it works very nicely for us in that way. And then when we voucher, get the bill, in other words, from the supplier, we would voucher it. So we can see that we have a matched voucher from Cisco Systems on this voucher, and that voucher is providing us a two-way, in this case, because the purchase order is a drop ship PO, it can be matched with the invoice and the PO amount. So what we've seen is contract leakage in the process where, not by any malicious means, but just by clerical mistake, people are now getting invoiced for things that are outside of what they agreed to way back during the quoting phase. So that price has been validated against what's in the purchase order, what's in the quote, what is the deal, and making sure that we're paying the right amount. And then we are simply exporting that to your accounting system so that you can get a payable invoice in your finance system to be able to pay your suppliers through electronic fund transfer, check run, or however you do that. So these deals get constructed in this way to be able to support a procure to pay and order to cash process. Now the other thing that we find from a best practice point of view, especially in the dropship model, we want to understand what the serial numbers are for our customer's product. So during the invoicing process, we're going to want to capture those serial numbers. And from a best practice point of view, we have customers that are creating customer asset management portals using our application to understand that, yeah, that serial number is associated with this Cisco equipment, and perhaps adding more information like a MAC address, an IP address, an install physical address where these assets are, and then allowing their customers portal access login to be able to see this level of detail as another value-added service, creating like stickiness to the company. So this is again another best practice. But if you can't capture the serial number for the products that you sent, you can't do that there, that a value-added service. And then kind of a protection on the more negative side, if this customer was come back to me and said, hey Mike, we have a problem with this particular product and this particular serial number, I can now verify for them that when I have a return that, yeah, you know what, in fact, I did get that serial number. You did buy it from me, I did send it to you, and we have that record of that. So it's in a positive way. You can do some asset management for your customers in a protection way, that you're not providing return authorizations for a product that you never sold. So it's important. It sounds like a small thing, but ends up to be a more detailed enablement for our customers. So, certainly all of our customers are selling serialized products, and we need to kind of know what they are. So these processes, again, are linked together because this is happening over time. And really the quarterback for everything in this case is a sales order. The sales order is saying, okay, where's the fulfillment coming from, what purchase order lines are being delivered against that sales order. So literally everything kind of comes back around this sales order. Who's my customer? What do I owe them? What's left? And that's why these screens become so important for our customers, because they can see what was ordered, what's been filled, what's remaining to be billed. When it gets to that month end, quarter end, year end, and I've got opportunities to bill, it's nice to have a system that's proactively saying, well, you've got these unbilled items here that we should be billing. Maybe it doesn't happen in your organization, but we certainly have seen in the industry where people get to that month-end crunch, and they're looking for that revenue to make that quarter or make that month, and be able to get that done. So it's a very simple process to be able to see that through a dashboard report to get to that deal that says, hey, I got opportunity to do things. So it's kind of a model for success with a value-added reseller to be able to have all of this connected with clicks. So you see I've done, I'm not searching for anything. The deal is constructed as the deal is constructed. I know exactly, what purchase order and supplier is delivering exactly what sales order line for me. So it makes it dead simple. It took us a while, to be honest, to think this model through, to be able to provide these kind of value-added services for our customers. And they include, obviously, some Cisco resellers, but other value-added resellers of other kinds of products, industrial equipment, medical devices, those sorts of things. So it works in lots of different models for that way. So we wanted to kind of get this discussion for some of these, better practices, better things that we're seeing in the industry, and what we're trying to deliver to customers is, and we'll come back to this, but some benefits, easy to understand your profitability on a deal level, or really more specifically at the line item level of a deal. The consummate, what products are selling well, what's happening, what successful product lines are being done, where do I make most of my money, in what product group, what family, what partner, where is my revenue coming from, where it's intuitively understood within the organization. It's great to be able to quantify those things. Simplifying sales and fulfillment processes for customers and helping them more. That complex tax model that we all have to work with and suffer through, trying to make that dead simple for those, and kind of just reducing that overhead cost for our customers. So that's, as we get, our expertise goes up in this, we're simply inviting you to kind of engage with us and talk with us about your business and what your goals are for 2013 and how we might be able to help you. So with that, we typically have some questions. I can see that some questions have come in here. So maybe Jessica, you could, we probably are not going to have time to answer all these questions, but maybe there's a few key questions we can help a customer or an attendee with.
Okay, we do have some questions. One of the first questions is, as a SaaS application, how would the data be backed up?
Okay, great. You're right. So yeah, you don't have a server in your closet. So where is your data and how does it get backed up? So your servers, your data is actually in multiple data centers across the country and on the planet, in the EMEA area, in Asia Pacific, in the North American marketplace. So there are multiple data centers where your data is. So if there was a problem with a data center and the data center actually completely shut down, your data is actually mirrored in another data center. You'd be redirected to that data center. You wouldn't probably even realize that you were there, and you would just resume as normal. So that's done as part of the subscription service, and that's part of your fees to be able to get that. So it is safe, it is secure, through multiple standards, through multiple ISO standards around the best practices for data management. So we simply have passed every security test we've ever been asked. But that's a good question.
Okay, the next question is there a limit to the number or the size of a supplier's catalog, and how do they get updated?
Yeah, now this is the complex piece for a lot of folks, right? So we have a customer, as an example, that has about 60,000 products that they have actually done trade on. In other words, their sales team has engaged with a customer and they've bought and sold those particular products. But in their catalogs actually have 1.2 million product SKUs that sales can sell. So, how do you keep 1.2 million product SKUs up to date? So all of our trading partners provide their catalogs electronically, and we're going out to their sites, pulling their catalog data and bringing it back in terms of product SKUs, manufacturers, that kind of information is coming back. And so we may do that on a particular basis depending on the velocity of change. What I mean by that, if there's a lot of change today, then I want to go get that tonight. I want to get those changes. And then if the catalog is pretty, it's on a quarterly basis, then we just need to do quarterly refreshes. So they're done electronically. They can be done on demand. They can be done there. And so kind of a point to the future as we start looking at this, we're finding manufacturers not only providing their catalog and their pricing, but many now are starting to provide available to promise inventory, current availability of inventory, and that's very exciting for our customers to be able to go out and say, okay, not only what is the current price, but what is the current availability, because as we all know, there's lots of places we can buy the same product. So especially when we get to some of the larger manufacturers like a Cisco, for an example. So your catalogs are updated electronically, and that frequency of that's really determined by our customers and their trading partners. So, but always electronically.
Okay. The next question I have on here is, are you able to use a different purchasing system or different systems instead of the entire package?
That is a really good point. So we have customers that use the order fulfillment, like quoting and order fulfillment, but they may use a different system for their inventory or for their procurement, and we're fine with that. And those systems can actually be on-premise solutions. So you don't have to use it all. You use what's appropriate for you. So if you have if you have a procurement system or an inventory system that you really like today and you don't really necessarily want to change that, there's no requirement to change that. So you use the pieces that fit your model.
Okay, and the last question is there a specific financial system that you guys use?
Not a specific one. We have customers that use a varied list of them, but we are very close to a company called Financial Force, and Financial Force provides a general accounting, accounts payable, accounts receivable, income statement, balance sheet. They are built on the same technology, and we actually don't charge anything for the integration to Financial Force's application. So that would probably, if we were asked to pick one, we would definitely pick Financial Force as our preferred partner for financial applications.
Okay, and that is the list of questions we had today.
Great. Okay, great, Jessica. Thank you. So, kind of just a brief reminder, as you set your goals for 2013, and if you think there might be an area that, needs improvement or something that you want to improve, or bringing on a new trading partner or bringing on new sales reps, an investment in a system to put everything under your command and control is not a bad thing to look at, and we'd be more than happy to talk to you about attaining your goals for 2013. On behalf of Jessica and myself and the Less Software team here, we just wanted to thank you for attending today. And if you're looking for some kind of an improvement, we ask you to visit us online at www.lesssoftware.com, or just pick up the phone and give us a call, and we'd be more than happy to talk to you. And you can reach us toll free at 866-603-1454, and we look forward to chatting with you in the future.
Okay, and thank you everyone for attending.